Hey YouTube, what is going on? Thanks for checking out the Straight SRT YouTube channel. Today is now part 2 of our detailing experience. So yesterday we did a wash, we did a dry. Today we're going to do a more of a thorough cleaning to the car using some alcohol, and then get into using protectants, and then of course gloss enhancers or shine enhancers. So yesterday we washed the car, dried the car. The car sat for roughly an entire day. So the next morning, everything is fully dry. Well, we're going to walk around the car. We're going to notice that there are water spots in certain areas, and there's some areas that I even missed. Now, it's important worth noting that, again, you want to make sure you're catering your detailing experience towards your client. So, for example, if I was to just wash this car, it'd be fine the way it is. But if we're going to wash it and then add additional layers of product to it, you want to make sure it's extremely important to make sure that base layer is clean. So if, for example, we were doing a full-blown ceramic coating, that I would have washed the car, dried it, alcohol wipe, and then I go into just double checking to make sure it's as clean as possible. So I would do like a clay bar, just to make sure there's no bug guts or whatever sticking to the car. You don't want any extra material there besides just your clear coat. And then to make extra sure you get into polishing. And then once you polish it, you use alcohol wipe again to make sure it's really clean. So you end all these extra steps to guarantee maximum adhesion of your product to your clear coat layer to provide a cleaner car, a longer adhesion of that material, better protection against the car. So the prep part is extremely important. My car, though, it already has a base layer ceramic coating that I did probably 2 years ago, and I'm constantly putting Reload 2.0 on there or some other form of protectant layer. So I'm always protecting that under layer of the ceramic coating. So for mine, again, yesterday did that tar remover, bug remover, adhesion, or contamination remover. So it didn't eat through all the way to that ceramic coating, but it did remove the hydrophobic layer, which is what we wanted. And now the car's set and dried, I'm going to show you in a minute, you can really tell that there's no more hydrophobic layer on there. It's completely gone, which is good. It's what we want. I'm also going to walk through and show you how certain areas of the car I didn't do a great job either. Again, for me, that's typical. I'm pretty sure for anyone, it's typical. Now, again, if you're washing a Ferrari or McLaren, something like that, you probably spend more time doing the tires again versus doing them twice. You may do them 3 or 4 or 5 times just to make sure they're really, really clean. When it comes to the wheels, you may use that wheel cleaner from Meguiar's 2 or 3 or 4 times just to guarantee there's no more iron in there. Now, if I were doing, for example, for another customer or client, I've done ceramic coatings on wheels before. I actually pull the entire wheel off the car, and I clean the inside and the outside, and I keep doing it until the wheel is spotless. And then I put on my ceramic coating, and then put on my Reload 2.0 over top of it. So you do extra prep again, because that's a situation requires. For my wheels, I'm just going to put on, I use that detail spray and clean them up, and that's good enough for me for my purposes. So make sure you're catering your prep time towards what you're ever trying to accomplish, but don't go, again, above and beyond what you need to. You don't want to spend 3 hours cleaning a car when the person that you're cleaning the car for is going to bring it to a Delta Sonic, and they consider that to be a good wash. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you compare like a Delta Sonic or a drive-through wash with machines that don't do a great job, scratch the hell out of your car, and you're considered that to be good enough, then why would you spend 3 hours detailing a car if you're charging them $20? That makes absolutely no sense. So for this video, alcohol wipe. So I'm going to go through and show you guys how to do an alcohol wipe. And then we're getting to the polishing stage using that Polish Angel. Again, it's a phenomenal product. And then finish it off with Reload 2.0, which is a silicon dioxide hydrophobic layer to lock in that protection. And then also, after that, a quick wipe down just to make sure we get all the product off the car. Now, sometimes I'll go into a buffing stage as well. But buffing, you want to be very careful. You don't want to remove what you just put on the car. So usually I just polish it. And polishing, not meaning using the machine, I mean grabbing a polishing finishing cloth that has longer fibers to it and just kind of buffing over the car with my hand, just to make sure I'm removing all the, I guess when you put on a protectant layer or anything like that, you spray it on, you wipe it, and then you wipe it off. But if you don't wipe all of it off, then you're having some on there, and it creates like a hazing effect where you have this base layer product and you added another layer on top of it, and it's just cloudy and everything. It's not doing any good, and you want to remove that. So that's when I use my polishing or my buffing, where I go through and just make sure that I removed any excess material or any excess product off the car to get the maximum shine off of it. So that being said, that's today's goal. So let's go ahead and get into the alcohol wipe. All right, so here we are. A nice zoom up of the car. I put my gloves on. I didn't do them yesterday by accident. I always wear gloves. I want to make sure you protect your hands at the end of the day. So I want to show you the car. It's been cleaned. You can see right here. It's just the base clear coat. There's no protection. I use my bare hands. You can actually hear it sliding across here. So that's what you want. You want to make sure your car is bare. If it's easy to slide your hands, you put a towel in the car and it easily falls over. It's not sticking. Then you have protection on there. So you gotta remove that. You don't want to double up protection. So this car is good. It's all set. But I want to show you right here. It's going to be hard, I think, for the camera to see. But there is dirt. So right where this fender and then this wheel well cover meet each other, inside here, there's a little bit of dirt right there. And then even right here, you can see, head out of the reflection, some contamination. So that's typical, right? You're gonna go through, you washed your car, you can see right here a bunch of water spots. So again, that's typical. Now you need to go through your alcohol wipe. This is gonna make sure your car's actually fully clean and prepped and ready to go to the next stage. So remember, we did our spray for decontamination, and you can see, even like down here, there's a little bit of crap here still, right? A little bit of tar or bug guts, whatever it is, that needs to get removed still. So they didn't quite get rid of everything. The rest of the car is pretty smooth. So if I were doing this for a customer car for a prep, for ceramic coating, I would definitely go through and I would remove all this thoroughly using a clay bar. For me, I'm going to use my microfiber towel, use some alcohol and scrub this off, and it'll be good enough. Speaking of towels, again, using the brand I told you guys about yesterday, you see one side is like well knitted. The other side's got these little microfiber, they're almost like little, they act like fingers, they grab onto everything, which is great for cleaning a car. So this soft, really smooth side, you're going to want to fold this into quarters, and then use this, and then go ahead and just get in there and clean it off with your alcohol. Make sure you pull a little pressure to it, scrub it off, so you'll be good to go. Those rags are phenomenal. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that for the entire car, and just guaranteeing again that the entire car has been fully cleaned and it's ready to go to the next step, which is adding that polished angel. It's almost like a reflective coating to it. It's a higher reflective coating to get a real lot of gloss off the car. Now this car already looks pretty glossy. Again, I did do ceramic coatings. I protect the car constantly. I'm always putting on extra layers of hydrophobic properties for that silicon dioxide spray. So the car's been maintained meticulously. It's 5 years old. It's now 2024, and it's a 2017 SRT. I think I got it in 2018. Bought it used. But it's in phenomenal shape. There's nothing wrong with it. But again, that comes with maintaining your vehicle. So that being said, another quick thing to note too, you can see the wheels right here, how they're still dirty. See how we cleaned them yesterday? You can see even on my finger how dirty it is. So we went through, we cleaned the tires. I did it twice. You can even see like right here, there's some scuffs and whatnot. You can kind of scrub that away. But keep in mind, when your vehicle is sitting like this, you get access to this whole wheel well, or this whole side of the tire. But at the very bottom, you can't really get down here. So when you move the car and this portion now comes up here, you're going to see spots in the tire like right here where it's still dirty. Where I didn't get a chance to clean it because I didn't move the car, didn't get down close enough to scrub that. Again, that's going to be typical. You want to pay extra attention to that and just clean it again. For this wheel, you can see pretty obviously that I didn't do a very good job. I thought I did. We did that spray on there, and I used that brush, cleaned everything off, went through again, used soap and cleaned it off. But you can still, I mean, it's obvious I missed quite a bit of stuff. This is where, again, I'll take one of my shittier rags, and I'll actually go through and put either a clean solution on there, and I'll actually get in there with my fingers and clean all this stuff out. And you'll see the end result. It's going to look way, way better than it does right now. So probably could have done a better job, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and do a quick alcohol wipe. So for alcohol percentage, I use isopropyl 10%. So I dilute it with Distilled water. You don't ever want to use tap water. Tap water has too much contamination in it with different minerals and whatnot. You want the cleanest water possible. Again, you want to minimize that cross-contamination. So isopropyl, 10% dilution with distilled water. And now we're going to take this towel, this microfiber cloth, we're going to fold it to quarters. And then when I grab it right here at the corner, because now I'm holding on all 4 parts. So as I'm rubbing it against the car, it's not going to fall apart. If I'm grabbing it right here, this whole thing falls apart, and before you know it, you're using the wrong side of the towel. So again, grab it in the corner. I'm going to spray the towel, not the car. That's all it takes. That's even quite a bit. There's no circular motion, no nothing. Just using my hand and get in there and clean the car. Put some good pressure on it. And particularly if I'm curling my fingers here, I'm using this towel to get in there and clean that crease where I know there's going to be some kind of buildup. And then when I'm done, I fold it over on the dry side now. Again, curl my fingers, getting in there and cleaning this entire panel. So let's see how I did. And now you can see that dirt we were talking about is now gone. There's nothing there, and it even feels even a little bit cleaner. It even has better, my hand sticking to it sticks even further. So again, alcohol helped remove that final percent of contamination. And now it looks really good. Again, I gotta scrub this down a little bit. Other than that, looks really good. There's no water spots. And even if I come from over here, try to move the camera slowly, there's no water spots there, and that's what you want to see. You want to see a perfectly cleaned surface that's ready to now go to the next phase. So I'm not going to bother doing it in fast motion. Actually, maybe I will. The car's been wiped down with alcohol, and it's pretty clean, but you can see right here there's a lot of indentations. This isn't contamination, this is damage from rocks. So the front of a car, obviously it takes the brunt of the force from rocks, from road debris, whatever it may be, hits your bumper and then bounces off. You can see those, there's just a ton of them. There's a ton of damage on the front of this bumper. Now, no amount of polishing is going to remove any of that damage. That's physical damage into the bumper. What polishing can do is a lot of these superficial scratches, I'm kind of out of breath here from cleaning the car, polishing will help remove those and make it glossier, cleaner, and get rid of the micro scratches. It's not going to get rid of this permanent damage you're having in here. The only way of getting rid of this is by replacing the bumper. Probably replacing the bumper. When it comes to like metal work, you can obviously get in there, you can clean the metal work up, but this is just plastic. So quick point worth making, the front of the cars especially see a lot of this damage. Now, one thing that dealers are trying to do now is they're saying, oh, we'll offer you a paint protection package and it'll cover any paint chips in the car. But if you read the fine print, none of them, none I've ever seen cover the front bumper for this exact reason. You're gonna get tons of rock chips in there from driving your car, and they'd be replacing and trying to maybe polish this down and repaint bumpers all day, and they'd be way negative on that offering. So if you double check the fine print, they don't cover the front fascia, the front bumper of a vehicle, for that exact reason. Now, another thing worth noting, let's go up here to my hood, and now you can see these rock chips right here. These are on the metal itself. And this white stuff you're seeing, that's down to the primer layer. Now, one important thing worth mentioning, I don't have any on this vehicle to show you, but sometimes you can get a scratch in the paint. Think of like you have something in your pocket, maybe a key, and it's scratched through, or something real sharp like a razor and it's gonna cut through, and it looks white in that line. Oftentimes that white you're seeing is not the primer under your paint. It's a reflection. So hole or the scratch gets so deep that when you see it, think about like this way. Here's your, I'm trying to hold the camera while I'm doing this. Here's the part of the body that you're looking from, and here's how deep the scratch is. What you're seeing is your viewpoints, they bounce off of this deep scratch, and what you're seeing over here on the surface is white, but in reality it's a reflection of that scratch. And so if you use like a polishing compound or a polisher, you can actually go over this and you can remove that, and a lot of those scratches that you thought were so deep they were into the primer are actually not, and they can be removed. So that's an awesome pro tip there. Anyway, car's been fully cleaned. I can even see right here some more paint chips, and when you have black car, super obvious. Now we can do paint correction on this to fill in that gap. It's very visible. You can feel it with your finger. It's a very deep gap. We can do paint correction on this to correct this. And actually you can buy this from Mopar directly. Let me show you quick, because I have a paint pen. Here's your solution. It's a Mopar paint pen, color match to your car. It includes a little eraser for removing any extra debris, and then paint, and then a clear coat coat on top. These are phenomenal to maintain black cars. Anyway, this is done. The next step is going to be using that polishing compound. So again, we're going to use this Polish Angel High Gloss. Now, I always use applicator sponge or something like this. So you got a variety of pack of sponges like this. Got some over here. Got a brand new. Where are these from? They're Rag Company. Surprise, surprise. Awesome company. But these get tricky because when you're cleaning the car, especially if you're going faster, they get caught in something, they fall on the floor, and then you gotta wash them. So other ones like this have a pocket for your fingers, and these I find them to be extremely useful because when we're doing that higher velocity cleaning and scrubbing and you lose grip, they're not going to go anywhere, at least for the most part. These are from Adams. These are sweet for polishing tires. We're going to get into this in a minute. It's easy to grab, very friendly, and then it covers the entire surface of the tire. And I got pretty big sidewalls here, pretty large tires, and it covers it. But these are phenomenal. Getting sidetracked. Yeah, here's my good microfiber cloths. Here are my shady ones from AutoZone. You can see they're covered in dirt and debris. I wash them separately. These are my nice ones. Yeah, so we're going to use an applicator sponge for the Polish Angel. This you want to put a very minimal amount on. It's very concentrated. Great stuff. And then we're going to use one of our cloths to buffer it off after. I do want to show you guys a quick before and after of just using alcohol. So I pre-sprayed this Advanced Auto Parts rag. Just get in here with my finger real quick and do a quick wipe down. Just want to show you the difference it can make just from using alcohol. If you use like a detailing spray, like I mentioned before, it's going to be behind a residue. And if that's your entire goal is just to do a detailing spray, get a high gloss, then you're done. Well, if your goal is to use any kind of protection on it, you can see right here, right? It's after I wash my wheels. But big difference there, comparing this to this, to this. So all it takes is alcohol and a cloth. Do it once or twice, get in there, spend extra time on it, and you have your wheels perfectly prepped to go to the next stage. Alright, so I have my applicator pad, one that has a hand hook in it. Go ahead and spray some of this Polish Angel on there. Not a lot. Some of this nice purple color. Then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to rub it on just half of the vehicle. Then we're going to do a comparison to see how much this is actually doing. This is my first time doing this, so I'm going to see if it makes a difference for the gloss in the car. Alright, it's applied. I'm going to go ahead and use my microfiber cloth here. Let's brush it off. Now the car is already pretty glossy, so I'm not sure how much difference it's going to make, but we're going to find out. Alright, let me turn it over quick. Let's see how it compares. Get you guys up close. So I'm not sure if you can see this or not. There's a clear line. So on the right hand side it's still clean. On the left hand side it's just deeper and richer. Has more of a dark black look to it. I can kind of see it in the camera, so I'm assuming you guys can see this. Much darker, deeper, richer depth to the black versus a more looks like a washed out black almost. So definite difference when it comes to using this polished angel. And then of course next one we're gonna do is just gonna be a final coat to lock it in. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the car done in this time-lapse mode. Alright, so we just finished doing the polished angel high gloss polish on the vehicle. Let's just look at the results quick before we get to the next step. You can see it looks super clean. Excellent polish, excellent gloss. The car basically disappears there, which looks phenomenal. Some nice, deep, rich gloss to the paint. It really brings out the character of it, especially if you have like a blue or red or a green paint where you have a lot of depth of color. That polished angel is going to look phenomenal. Looks good. Alright, next we're going to get into sealing this and locking it into the car. So like this polished angel polish, it's not designed to be super water repellent. I mean, if you put your hands on it, it feels a little more slick, but it isn't designed specifically just to repel water. Silicon dioxide, Reload 2.0 in particular, is designed just for that. These two pair very well together. A lot of resistance to chemical, water spot resistance, improved gloss, sure, but it's mainly a protectant and gives you that hydrophobic properties to repel water, keep your car clean. I like using this in combination with Adam's detail spray. I actually go through so much of this. Oh, here it is. I have a gallon jug I buy This stuff's really good. It smells great. Works great. I did just get into this high gloss quick detail elixir from CarPro. I like it a lot. Jury's still out on it though to see how it compares. I've also tried this, the last coat. I have this spray. This is their spray on coating. I also have AMP. I use AMP all the time. They say you dilute it. I don't dilute it. I use it straight on windows. So maybe I'll cover that for a later time. But yeah, I'll leave that alone. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use Reload 2.0. We're going to spray it on a similar applicator cloth. One of these blue ones, orange, black, doesn't matter. And then use the polish, just get rid of it. This one though, you want to let sit for a minute. The Polish Angel, you put it on, and by the time, if you put it on the right hand side, you work your way to the left. First thing I do is work on my way to the right and then go to the left again. Doesn't need to sit too long. Reload spray, you want to let it sit a little bit longer. None of these though should be done in direct sunlight. So we're gonna go ahead and do a time lapse of me doing reload spray. You know, I was going to tape off part of the car. I might do that. I'll probably do one panel with reload, one panel without, and you guys can see a comparison of reload versus no reload to compare how much better it looks with the reload on there versus just the Polish Angel straight up. Alright, have our Reload 2.0. Give me a good shake. I'm gonna apply just this half with reload, and then zoom the camera in. You guys can see what I'm seeing. So again, spraying on top of applicator sponge. Now on the vehicle itself, you want to have even distribution of the product. Oh, that smells good. Alright, so I'll stop right about here. So I can already see it drying, so we're going to stop right there and wipe it off. As soon as you start seeing the haze, you want to remove it. So you want to work in smaller sections on this too, similar to the Polish Angel. As you can see in the previous video when I was doing the Polish Angel, I broke the bumper into 2 or 3 sections for the front and rear, broke the doors in multiple sections. You just want to make sure that you're not letting it cake on there, because then it's going to be impossible to get off. Looks super hazy. Alright, so that's that. It does a little bit darker. Now the Polish Angel, bigger difference. It was very clear, night and day, for where we had no protection versus Polish Angel. This one a little more smooth, a little more subtle, hard to see. There is a difference. It's not crazy again, but there's a little bit of a difference. But again, we're applying this because it's super smooth in comparison to this. Not so smooth, super smooth and protected. So we're applying it for that extra protection. Again, it's like bird crud. If you get bugs in the car, it'll be easy to wipe off using protected panel versus non-protected. Water resistance, and then even like dust. When you get dust and dirt in the air and you're driving down the road at 80 miles an hour or so, it's going to hit this and damage the coating, not so much the vehicle itself. So more so for protection than for polishing. The Polish Angel did an incredible job giving us a high gloss. So let's go ahead and finish this off. And then I decided for the wheels, cleaned them with alcohol. They're pretty good. You can see right here the typical paint chip on the calipers. I gotta address this with some clear coat. But I think I'm going to use the silicone spray on this too. So let me just pause this quick. All right, nice and close here. Let me show you this here too. So let me do a portion of the wheel again, treated versus non-treated. Let's just go right here. And this should be easier to see because this one has nothing on it. There's no Polish Angel. It's just the wheel itself. Now this sponge isn't what I would normally use for this. I'm just doing a quick video for you guys. I would use an actual microfiber cloth because this can't get in there and get all the wheel spots it's supposed to. It's too big. But for a good quick video, this is sufficient. Alright, so we got that in there. Get on here with our microfiber cloth, wipe it off. Again, you don't want to sit too long. But I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but wow, what a difference. I mean, what a difference. That's good enough. Let's get in there. So look right here. This transition point. Boom. all that's gone. That's just, it's not really water spots. It's just the paint decaying over the past 5 years, damaged from the UV sun. This offers UV protection, by the way, but look at that difference. Super dark, super rich, water protected. It looks incredible in comparison. I mean, just wow. And there's a touch. Super smooth. Sticks. Doesn't stick. Big difference there. So this Reload 2.0, it's the real deal. I said the original one, but 2.0 I noticed goes on easier. The original one, even going on quick and wiping it off right away, you'd still see it haze too fast, and then it caused more of a, it'd be very difficult to remove. This one, you get a little bit more time, a little bit easier to put on or take off, and it works great with the Polish Angel. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys in time-lapse mode, finish doing my silicone spray, Reload 2.0 on the car, and then finish it on the wheels, and yeah, get into a conclusion. I'm gonna get you guys real close and show you what I'm doing here. So you may or may not have noticed in time-lapse mode that I've been going in smaller sections for certain periods of time, and other sections I can do a much broader area, and that's based on the flash time of the product. So I'm hoping this is gonna come through. Let me apply a product just right here. You see it looks wet, and right there, get that oily, dry look. That's flashing over. Let me just wipe that off quick. So the hotter it is outside, the warmer it is, this product's gonna flash faster. And you wanna make sure you're using the area that you can minimize the amount of time where it flashes, and then you wipe it off. So for example, if I did the whole panel, it would be fully flashed in the right hand corner while I'm still applying it in the left. And the longer it flashes, the harder it is to remove it off the paint. And then it gets more hazy and get these kind of glare spots, and they're really hard to get rid of. Now it's easier and better with Reload 2.0. Reload 1.0, that's a big problem. So make sure that as you're working on your car, you're monitoring how long it flashes, and then you want to stop that section and work on it. So in this instance, I'll probably do right here over, and that's it. Another one, and then as it gets cooler out, the metal is colder, you can do a larger area before you have to wait before it flashes over on you. You don't want to apply it and right away remove it, because it's not doing any good, but you don't want to apply it, let it flash and bake into the paint and then try and remove it either. So as soon as you see it flashing, it looks like it's kind of drying, hazing a little bit, kind of got oily look to it where you're starting to see the colors of the rainbow. That's flashing. You want to go ahead and remove it right away. So with that said, let's go back to the rest of the car. So we're done putting on that silicone dioxide Rio 2.0. And now we're going to put on our final step, is going to be just finishing everything off. So we have our nice polishing cloths here. Same company, right company. It's got a much longer microfiber thread to it. Nice length, very soft and plush. All we're going to do is just go through the car and just wipe it down. That's it. This is just making sure that there's no extra out of product on there. You can see right here, there's some fibers from the microfiber cloth when it flashed over. Sooner than I was ready for it, and then I started wiping it off and started pulling away some of those microfibers off the towel. So we're just gonna go through final step of just clean up everything, and then we'll do a video walkthrough. All right, so the body's done. So we need to go through and do the tires and the trim, which I'll get to in a minute. But right now, wheels, they look great. That silicone spray, remember how dirty they were? A little bit of residue here, but it came out awesome. Body itself looks awesome. Again, just get in there. I mean, you can't even tell the car's there. Looks that good. So, incredible. Great finish, great gloss. Nice depth of color. Very reflective. Just get in there again. Show you guys this side. Get the camera real close. I mean, it looks awesome. Alright, now we're going to get to the tires. So, for tires, I like using either this CarPro Dark Side, it works pretty good. Had good success also with Adams Graphene tire dressing. Those are my two go-tos. We're going to use Dark Side, put it on applicator designed for tires. So again, Dark Side. Put a few pumps over the applicator pad itself. Make sure you get nice coverage. And then we're just going to apply to the tire. I like these pads because they get in there in these fine lines. They did a real good job getting inside there and getting uniform coverage on the tire. Put a little bit more in there. Once you get your applicator pad pretty wet, it'll last longer than half a tire. But it's pretty dry right now. So again, this is going to help repel water. Your tires will be nice and fresh and clean for a good amount of time. And you can reapply it as needed. So you got nice wet look on the tires. As it dries, it'll come out a little bit nicer right now. It's still pretty wet. Nice wet look on the tires. Nice wet color to the wheels. Real depth, good depth of color. Paint too. So black and black and black. It looks absolutely incredible. Alright, I'm going to show you guys one of my trade secrets. So this Adams Undercarriage Spray is designed to put a lot of oil and lubrication on dried out components. So we talk about plastics in our Jeeps. Anything that's exposed like this, you can see how it's white. You get UV damage, it gets dried out. It doesn't quite look as nice as it used to, especially at the front here. Lots of exposure to UV, and you can see where it's not quite as nice as the rest of the paint. Down here, right here especially, it kind of draws your eye to it. It's meant to be more of a gray color, but it could be nicer. Another huge one is right here. All of this stuff just aids from the sun. So this is my solution. Works really well. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so have it on an applicator pad, ones I like. Let me just show you right here. Look at that difference. It looks brand new. There you go. Brand new. I mean, that is awesome. Isn't that crazy? Downside is, you can see right there a little bit of a streak. You gotta kind of clean up after yourself. But it works really good at bringing plastic back to life. It doesn't last very long. Nothing does. Look at that. Super dark. Looks really, really good. Nice finish compared to the other side. It's lighter, washed out. Especially right here, those are white spots that you saw before. Gone. So highly recommend using this on any and all of your trim. Even in the front here, you can get these ones. Downside though, is you can see where I couldn't get all the way in there. And so you almost have to like get your finger in there. And if you do that, that looks much, much better. But you're talking about getting extremely close to the car. So for all intents and purposes, you do that and it's good enough. I mean, when someone's walking by, they're not gonna be staring like, oh my God, okay, this guy missed this tiny little spot right here. No one gives a crap. But again, it goes back to the customer. How do I notice those details? Is it worth spending an extra half an hour getting all those and all those down there to be perfect? Probably not. So that's it. So let's get in the car, do a wrap up, and walk through our progress. Before we wrap up, I just had to show you guys this view. Look how clean the car is. I mean, insane reflections. Looks really good in low light. Now the sunlight, different story probably, but wow. All right, so we finished day 2. Got through our wheel clean with alcohol. Did alcohol wipe on the entire car. Trying to remember here. And then went through, did our polish angel on the whole vehicle. For the wheels, did silicone dioxide spray, that Reload 2.0, did that on the whole car. And also went through, turn this off, and did a final wipe down of the entire vehicle. And then did that undercarriage spray from Adams for all the trim. And that's it, I think. So the car's done. So this is what I would call a medium or medium high tier detail. So the highest tier, for me at least, is when I use a liquid silicone dioxide. Much better durability, much more difficult to put on. You can't just spray it on and wipe it off. You have to go in like a crisscross pattern. It flashes pretty fast. You have to be very, very attentive to it to make sure you can remove it as soon as possible. And then after that, you put on Reload 2.0 to seal that in too, to maintain those hydrophobic properties. But that requires more prep work. You need to do clay bar, absolutely. And some of these cars that come in, they're not maintained very well. And so now you spend more time washing, more time clay barring, more time scrubbing the car out. But it's all about that prep work. That usually takes me 2 full days. I'm talking like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 2 straight days to do that. So pretty labor intensive. This, faster, great results, but you gotta maintain it. So if this is a customer's car, I'd tell them, hey, you know, car's done, it's great, nothing you gotta do. But time to time, you might want to use like a detail spray, or instead of washing the car, use like a dusting mechanism. This little duster that works like wonders on cars, just to keep it clean. Or if it doesn't get rained on and it's just dirty, dust it, or use an Adams detail, or maybe even the elixir too, and just maintain the coating, and it'll last quite a while. I think the Reload 2.0 lasts, I think, 3 to 6 months. Again, depending on how often it's in the sun, it's going to deteriorate it. How many times you wash it will deteriorate it, and so on and so forth. So this is kind of new for the channel. I did a little bit of detailing on the inside of the car. Never talked much about the outside of the car. I'm just trying to cover a broad range of things that can apply to SRT owners. And keeping our cars looking nice is very important to a lot of us. So hopefully you guys found this useful. I did quite a bit. As you saw in my cabinet over there, ton more products to go through. I mean, I've done tons of comparisons on products, trying to offer my customers the best value and the best look for the best bang buck, or the best bang. Yeah. Anyway, if you got questions, as always, guys, drop them below. If you enjoy this kind of content, again, drop it below. Let me know, and we can start making more videos geared towards this. If you guys don't comment and you don't get a lot of thumbs up, I'm assuming you're not enjoying the content, and I kind of changed to different approaches as well. This is going to be a longer video. I'm trying to make them shorter. I really am. I'm trying to just get more jam-packed in there for you guys. Because I know that, especially through my analytics on YouTube, it tells me that like no one really watches the videos to the end. They're like almost no one. And it drops off pretty fast in the beginning. So I'm trying to condense them. This is a little bit longer, but it's got a lot of good detail in there. So hopefully you guys appreciate it.